The Samsung Q800T is their 8K QLED, which I call the affordable version, but in this video we'll be seeing just how well it does with high frame rate HDR gaming, so stick around. Hey guys, it's the Villaman here, home theater enthusiast and lover of all things tech. Now on this channel we review, demo and compare the audio and video tech that entertains you. So if you're new here and you like awesome videos, then make sure to subscribe because we have plenty of those. So like I did with the LG C10 OLED, I'll be using my editing PC to game on this TV to do high frame rate 4K HDR gaming. Now we'll be testing Forza Horizon 4 at 120 frames per second and also Doom Eternal at 60 frames per second. So of course we'll be in game mode and we'll have game motion plus disabled, but on the PC we'll have FreeSync enabled. And once in game mode, the TV will automatically accept a FreeSync source also and enable that feature. Now the game running on the PC has 120 frames per second refresh rate selected, and the variable refresh rate option is also enabled. So even though the max setting is 120 frames per second, it will dip below that at certain points. I'm gaming on a keyboard right now, so the side effect of that is sometimes running into walls like it's a contact sport. As I mentioned before, I have the game motion plus disabled in the settings because I think the motion is a lot more natural without it enabled. The TV with its 120 frames per second refresh rate handles high motion very well. Forza isn't the most hectic of games, but there was absolutely no screen tearing visible. There's no motion artifacting and no ghosting visible either. In this night racing scene, which has a lot of shadows, you can see that there's plenty of detail in all parts of the picture, both the dark areas and the bright highlighted areas. And in case you're wondering, no, I don't like using my brakes that much. Doom Eternal is a lot faster paced and a lot more hectic than Forza is, and it really pushes the PC hard at times. Resolution will be at full 4K with HDR enabled, and the refresh rate will be set to 60 frames per second variable. Since this game is so graphically intensive, the frame rate will go from anywhere from the mid-30s to 60, so it'll be very challenging for the TV. And in this case, any screen without some kind of syncing capability will have frame skipping and screen tearing possibly. But FreeSync should mitigate this in the case of this TV. My PC is running a 16-core AMD processor with 128 gigs of RAM and a Vega 64 graphics card with 8 gigs of HBM2 memory. Even with FreeSync enabled on the AMD control panel and on the TV, there was still some screen tearing visible in the really hectic scenes. It was a very rare occurrence, but it still happened. What happened a lot more though during Doom was the screen flashing. This only happened in Doom and only when I played the game at 4K at 60 frames per second with HDR enabled. When I played at a lower res without HDR HDR enabled when comparing it to the LG C10 OLED TV, this did not happen. So I don't know the root cause. It could be one factor or a combination of factors, from the driver interacting with the TV to HDR being enabled or disabled, along with the frame rate. At this point, I am not sure, but it only happened in this game, and not all the time either. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced anything of this sort. In fact, when I played another game, Borderlands, using the Xbox with HDR enabled, I didn't have this problem, so it could be a result of the graphics drivers or something else. I'm not sure, but at this point I will give the TV the benefit of the doubt. Here we have it being compared to the C10 OLED using Borderlands on the Xbox One X. Now the game is set to performance mode, which means it's running at 60 frames per second. And as you'd expect from a QLED, the highlights on the Q800 are brighter than what they appear to be on the OLED TV. Both TVs handle motion very well though, and the colors are vibrant on both of them. As I noted in the dedicated comparison video though, the QLED has a lot more shadow detail than the OLED TV does. Come on, man, chill. So there you have it. Now the flashing that you saw, I'm not sure what the cause of it was, whether it was the graphics card or the TV, but I couldn't figure out the source of it. So I will give the TV the benefit of the doubt. Let me know in the comments if you have had anything similar, because even when I played with the Xbox One X on the TV, it didn't have that flashing, and Forza also on the PC didn't have the flashing either. It was only in Doom, which I found very strange. Now, barring that, the gaming on the TV was a very smooth experience. There was almost no screen tearing. Granted, there was occasions where I saw screen tearing, so FreeSync is not perfect, but the screen tearing was absolutely minimal. The Q800T had an absolutely gorgeous picture in game mode. There was some blooming in the more challenging scenes, so you won't escape that. But it's safe to say that if you buy this TV, you'll be absolutely prepared for the next gen consoles. Not only does it have 120 frames per second support, but it's also 8K compatible. Whether we'll have 8K games, though, is another question entirely. Personally, I don't think so, but you have that capability. Now the TV has a dedicated HDMI port for gaming, which is denoted by a controller beside it, but all the HDMI port supports FreeSync. So no matter where you connect your console, once you have game mode enabled, FreeSync will also be enabled. It will not be enabled if you don't have game mode enabled. I also didn't notice any motion issues when gaming on the TV. Not ghosting, not judder. It was an entirely smooth experience. And that's without the game motion enhancement being enabled, by the way. Let me know your thoughts about the TV in the comments, and I have links in the description if you also want to buy one. Stay tuned for the full review, and don't forget to check out the comparison with the LG C10 OLED, both the gaming and the picture comparison. That's in the link up there, and also in the description. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been your friendly neighborhood Villaman saying, be safe and peace.